Hi, my name's Asger and I'm one of the designers of Cøpenhagen, and I would like to teach you the rules of the game. In the game, each player will have their own player board. It's a front of a town out in Cøpenhagen, and in the game you'll be playing these facade tiles onto it, starting from the bottom up, and you'll try to complete rows and columns to score points. In a turn, you can do one action, and you basically have two available actions. You can either take cards or you can play cards. If you take cards, you take two adjacent cards. These two are not adjacent. So basically I could start by taking these two cards. Then the market fills up and it would be the next player's turn. As soon as they've taken all their turns, it would be my turn again. I can take another action. And let's say I already got the two green, that I would like some more greens. Then each of us starts with a bonus tile, and we start with this specific tile, which if used, you flip over and you cannot use it again. And this one specifically allows you to take any two cards, so they do not have to be adjacent. So I will use that to pick up these two cards. And again, we fill out here and it proceeds to the next player. When it comes back to me, I could take more cards. There's a hand size limit of 7 cards, but I could also choose to play cards. If I choose to play all 4 of these green cards, I would put them in the discard pile, and I could now take this tile. It's green, and I picked 4, and I played 4, and there are 4 spaces on it. That's why I get to pick this one. Let's say I played it like this. Then, as turns pass around, it would eventually become my turn again, and I could pick, I had picked up some more cards, and let's say I was gonna play 3 blue cards, and I could play this one. I could play it here. The first thing that would happen is that I completed a row, and since they are all made out of windows, I score 2 points. So move it here to 2 points. Whoever gets to 12 points first wins the game, unless it ends with a slightly different rule, which I'll get to later. The second thing that happens is, as you can see, I actually completed one of these columns that has this city sign, city symbol on it, which allows me to get a special action added to it. I would also get this special action if I build on one of these that's just available out on the player board. So you can either get it from one of these 3 columns once you fill them out, or from one of these 4 spaces as soon as you cover it up. What it does is that it allows me to get an extra of one of these bonus tiles that I already had. Or instead of getting an extra of them, I could refresh all the ones I had previously used, so gain access to using them again. So obviously, if I only have one, then there's a little bit of a dilemma, but if I hadn't used it, then obviously I would be taking another one. However, I can also, as a third way of using this bonus action, take one of these single space tiles. As you can see right now, I've built up 3 of these, so the only way I can fulfill this bottom row is by getting these single space tiles and placing them down here. You are allowed to place beneath the structure. However, all tiles that you do place cannot be placed in free floating. They must be supported by something on the bottom that is on its own, supported on the bottom. So this would not be a legal move. When I do place out tokens, let's say I had 3 green cards and I placed those 3, I can actually take the 4, I get a discount of 1, if I place it next to another green tile. So if it touches its own color, you get a discount. And again, you can see here, I built it on top of one of these symbols, so I would try to place this one here. If I later completed one like this, where you can see I completed a row that does not have windows along the hallway, there are these spaces with only bricks, that only scores me 1 point. So it's 2 points if it's all windows, it's 1 point if it's full, if it's got the bricks in it. If I do complete a section all the way to the top, a column, again, I score 2 points if it's got bricks in it. I want 2, but I would have scored 4 points if I had built it all with windows. You can see all the way there, that would be 4 points. as mentioned, I win the game if I get to 12 points. However, there's also an end game card that's shuffled in. If you're playing at the higher player count, it's only shuffled in the second time you go through the deck. At 2 player, it's shuffled in from the beginning, so you only go through the deck once. Some cards are removed at 3 players to adjust the length, as some tiles are removed as well, because the availability of tiles as you play is also important. There's only one of each of these 5 space tiles, so whoever gets it first is the one who gets to place it, and everyone else will have to find another plan to get it. So there's also some plans to try to block other players out of getting the tiles they want and need to fulfill their structure. That's basically the game of Cøpenhagen.